Okay.
Okay. So I kind of want to like start off with talking about how this event went for me,
Yeah.
and then we can kind of go into like w- what my what I took away from the event, and then kind of how that affects what I want to do going forward. So, I obviously like I took my break kind of from competing after blacklisted, and so I showed up to jailbreak, didn't play, but uh I played one money match there against Tismatic, who I actually ended up beating at this tournament too, so it was good knowledge. But
Hell
I beat
yeah.
him in two money matches there and then beat him at this tournament. So right now I got Tismatic on. But what was I gonna? So I was on my break, and then I like kind of towards the end of the year I started playing a bit more again. After taking a good break, and I started feeling a bit more confident in my play. Like for example, I entered one Wednesday night fight just on a whim, and after losing to Vashump like 5 sets in a row, I 3-0'd him like after my break, like just out of the blue. So I was like, oh, I guess taking my mind off things helped. And so then I started entering my net play events that Potatoes hosts here, and just to like practice mostly. Like I didn't really care what was going on in them, and out of like kind of I wasn't planning to go to this event, and then all of NorCal was going, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go. And so
It's like, oh, why
uh,
not? Yeah.
yeah, so I showed up, and I think in general, it was my first time playing an event where I had to play this long with
Hmm.
the waterfall bracket. Um, and so it was kind of weird having to stay that warm for that many sets. Um, and so I thought it was kind of a big test on my how consistent I could be throughout the day. And I think I did kind of play really consistently. Maybe not like my greatest, but like I didn't even think I was playing like too hot, but the consistency still allowed me to place like as expected. I was seeded ninth at the event and I got ninth, so things didn't go bad, even though I didn't feel like I was playing my best, and I didn't I didn't know how much stamina it was going to take out of me, which was a lot by the end of the day.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's a very strange situation the way that it turns out, where the players that just kind of 2-0 their entire pool, like the Parker level players that are just like, yeah, I'm just gonna show up, sweep the pool, and then just go to Division 1 automatically, like play
yeah,
way less than the players that like the Division 2, Division 3, and if anyone from Division
yeah,
4 makes it, because by the time you get to that bracket, it's so tiring.
yeah. So like even for me, like I was playing out my pool, and I had to play actually Cadosat as like he was the first seed in my pool.
Hmm.
He was like eighth seed and I was ninth seed, so like we were both like first and second seeded. Like he was the last first seed, I was the top second seed, so we were in the same pool. Um and so I lost there 2-1 in the pool, and I wasn't like feeling nervous during that set, and what I was really happy about after that set was the next set I played, like I was able to still like stay in the game. Like sometimes when you lose and you have to play right away, like especially in round robin, I feel it's like hard to be like, oh, well, I already threw this away, But I was like, no, like I still am ready to play, so I still like won my next set solidly, and I was happy that I didn't let like my mentality fall despite losing that set 2-1 last hit. And I
Yeah.
think the 2-1s were pretty common with me in this bracket. Some went my favor, some did not go my favor, and that's okay. I felt like I said, like I wasn't playing like 10 out of 10 for my own standards, but if keeping it competitive, taking games off people who were playing pretty well and got top 8 at the event, or like basically the same, like the people I lost to either also placed ninth or got top 8. So
Yeah.
it was like I didn't lose to anyone unexpectedly.
Yeah, you
um
didn't, like you had mentioned, you might not have been playing at 100% all day, but especially at longer events, like even staying at that 80% all day is really, really useful.
it's hard, yeah. And so like basically after the pool finished, I was out second seed, so that meant I got placed in Division Two, which we had to wait like 3 hours for, I think, because they had to do the whole of Division Four, the whole of Division Three, and I mean, those divisions were bigger than Division Two and Division One, so they just took a long time. But by the time we got to Division Two, I think I played CD first, and I won, and then I had to play. Who else did I play? I played PwrUp. Yeah, I played PwrUp next, which was this set, and I started off this set really, really strong, I'd say. And even in the I threw a lead game one that was like a pretty significant lead, but even after that, I still won game two, you know. And then game
Yeah.
three, it was kind of just like, I think I went for something where I shouldn't have gone for it, and he got an early kill because of that, and then I was kind of just trying to push it back. But I mean, we'll get into like the details of the set later. But
Yeah.
I was still like, you know, like okay, as long as I won my next set, I'd make it out to Division One, which I did. And then in Division One, it was kind of like that was where I felt the most pressure a little bit, because I knew my Division One was Ivane, Q-Tip, and Tismatic. And so I knew I've beaten Tismatic in those money matches at Jailbreak, so I was like, okay, I think I can beat him. And then Ivane, I knew like I play with him regularly, and like I can take games maybe if I'm playing well, but I wasn't expecting to do like to win that necessarily, you know. So really,
Right.
to me, I was putting the most focus on the Joe set, because I was like, if I play Q-Tip and I win, then I made out top eight. And so it was kind of like the same thing with this set, where it was like I won. Well, it's not the exact same, but it was a 2-1 in that sense, and I won the first game kind of pretty well, and then the second game I was up and through, kind of, and then the last game I I picked the wrong counter pick. I picked a stage where I do well against Mickey, but I guess the way Q-Tip plays was far different, and so I kind of got washed up. And I went to FD, which is it's like a risky stage, I guess, in that sense. Because I know against Mickey,
Yeah.
it's like I felt comfortable there, but then against Q-Tip, he just kept up airing me, and I was like, well, I can't get down. This is over.
Yeah. It's
But
volatile for sure.
overall, you know, like I was satisfied with that. I and it was a little annoying, kind of, because like right when I was sitting down to play Joe and we were about to, we had already like hit start. He was like, "Oh, is it best of three or best of five?" They were telling me it's best of three, and I was thinking it the whole time it's best of five because they said on the like at the beginning of the day that Division One's best of five.
Mhm.
So then we were like, "Oh, let's check," and then it got changed to best of three. So I was like, "Oh, I this is even more pressure now
Volatile.
because I
Yeah.
get less game." So, but I felt like I handled overall like the pressure pretty well. I practiced a lot for the event with Boring Man and Ivane especially, just on net play, and I felt like my consistency and my tech skill was like kind of what got me through the stamina draining part of the event. Because I was just like, you know, I didn't look slow at all on my sets. I felt, even if I lost them, and so
Yeah.
it mostly was just like making the right decisions in the right moment rather than being like, oh, my tech skills off, that this is why I kind of was messing up, you know. It was like, oh, I made the wrong decision.
Yeah. Like you were saying, the Division Two was like a 3 hour gap. I wouldn't have known that from watching you play here.
Yeah.
Like
So,
your play is very solid here with regards to like tech skill, and you don't make any like big brain fart decisions or anything like that.
yeah. So, I mean, I knew like Alex was very good, and I know that, uh, you know, later on after in Division One they went on to beat Boring Man, so it was like they were having a good day, so I I couldn't be too upset, you know. Um,
Yeah, when
but
someone beats
I
you and then they beat Parker, and it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So and one thing I was really happy is, at Blacklisted I went like 1-2 or whatever, and so basically after I won my first set at this event, I was like, okay, we got this. Like we're already as good as we were at Blacklist. So,
Hell yeah. It's like that's
I was,
a lot of that pressure to outperform your last placing is like, okay, okay, good. Luckily, it was just 1 and 2, so we're good now.
yeah. So, yeah, but basically, at this point, I was already playing a good amount of Zero Suit because what I decided was if I had to play Bladewise at this event, I was gonna go Zero Suit because I know he's a melee player and I know the matchup for Zero Suit is strong, and I've talked with Blank about it and Malachi a bit. So I had some ideas if I ever had to play him, which I didn't, luckily. But I was already working on my kind of new character, and so lately I've been entering Wednesday night fights like pretty much every week with Zero Suit just to like kind of get up to where I want her to be.
Get that
And
experience, yeah.
yeah. And so it's actually cool because I do learn new things like in my set. Like sometimes with Sheik, it's like I feel like when you play a character a lot, it's like sometimes it may even be harder to see because you're so tunnel vision on what you know. If that makes sense. And then like with Zero
Absolutely.
Suit, I'll see like situations pop up and I may have played them wrong, but I'll be like, oh, this is what I was supposed to do there. Like, cool. Like next time I'll just do that.
Yeah, because when
And
you play just the one character, then you only see Roy in the Roy versus Sheik matchup, as opposed to the Roy
yeah,
versus Zero Suit, Roy versus Spacey, and that can give you tips about what the player likes to do or what the character can and cannot do in more broad perspective.
yeah. So like for example, like I played Pineapple in one of the net play weeklies, and like Pineapple's someone who I could lose to even with Sheik. Like we tend to go back and forth. But I like the set was pretty competitive. Like I lost 3-1, but it's like my first time playing Zero Suit Wario with him. And I was like, oh, I was figuring stuff out like just within the first game, and I was like, wow, I'm not used to this. Like actually like seeing things and being like, oh, this is like stuff I'm not used to, but I understand like what I should be
Yeah.
doing.
And it gets
And
you engaged. It gets you looking for like, okay, how is this going to work? And looking for those solutions
yeah,
to those problems.
because I was like, oh, like Sheik doesn't have these certain tools that Zero Suit has, and Zero Suit doesn't have these certain tools that Sheik has, but I can see the spots where the tools Zero Suit has like maybe better in certain situations. Because like sometimes I'll avoid situations with Sheik because I don't have like good answers to them, and then I'll be like, as Zero Suit, I'll be like, oh, I do have good answers. But then it's like the other way around too, where sometimes I have good answers to Sheik and not good answers to. So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
like go to ledge to Edgeguard Zero, and you're like, wait,
yeah, yeah. Um, but it's been fun learning that character, and so I'm hoping that I kind of get up to. I think I'm already like, if my Sheik's like a 10, my Zero Suit's a 9. Let's say, like, I think it's almost like up there. Um,
heck yeah.
and so I'm gonna try and get some time in the future, like some set with Zero Suit that we could go over, but we'll see. I mean I've been practicing the character a lot, so and I still feel like I'm learning things, so it's like it doesn't feel as important for me to be like, oh, let's review with Zero Suit when I'm already have things I know to work on. When with
Yeah,
Sheik, like sometimes things are a bit difficult for me to figure out right now. And I think that kind of goes like I think Sheik is a character where sometimes it's like you have to play the situations correctly.
for
With Zero
sure.
Suit, it's like you could be a bit more creative sometimes because there may be multiple good things that you could do, or like different mix-ups that could be played. But like with Sheik, it's like you do have to simplify stuff to the correct stuff a lot of the time, is what I've realized. As I've gotten better with the character, is like, oh, I shouldn't try to be super fancy with anything if I mess up and then I'm off stage and die, you know?
There are
With
more
Zero Suit,
wrong
if I'm off
options with
stage,
Sheik. Yeah,
yeah, and Zero Suit, it's like if I go for a risky edge guard, I could probably still make it back. So that's been kind of like something I've learned is like with Sheik, it taught me a lot of like holding back in spots where uh things seem risky. So
Yeah, when you overextend, you get punished for it. Whereas with Zero Suit,
yeah,
you can overextend in different ways and get punished less because her disadvantage is so much better.
yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be a kind of a cool balance between having those two characters. And so then, kind of going forward, what my plan is I want to play. I still want to play both characters, but I want to play Sheik for opponents who I think not only the matchup's better, but also like the consistency is better. And that's it. Like I want to pick the character that would get me the most consistent outcome in that match.
I think it's a
Um,
really good kind of way to look at it. Yeah.
'Cause like I feel like, for example, let's say I'm playing a Spacey. Like right now, I'm probably better at that matchup with Sheik, but down the line, I think like Sheik has to be like if I'm having a bad day, it's gonna go badly. If I'm having a good day, it's gonna go well. With Zero Suit, if I'm having a bad day, I still may be able to win, you know, because
Right.
there's just a bit more consistency there. Because tech chasing with things like down smash that could cover like 3 options sometimes, versus like having to react to those. It's like, oh, like this is great. Like up throw comboing into things with Zero Suit is great.
Yeah, it's kind of the
Well,
same thing
which
that Spaceys have, where like,
yeah.
again, on the best day, the best Spacey in the world is easily the best player in the world, but on the worst day, they're so much worse than their normal because their characters are
Yeah,
so volatile and need so much precision.
yeah, and so like, even like in my friendlies, I've noticed uh, like my Zero Suit has been more consistent in some matchups than my Sheik has been, and so like it'll still take time to figure that out, but that's kind of like what I want to do with the co-main scenario, and then kind of at Exodus is kind of where I'm gonna see, because that's gonna be my next event probably.
When is
Um,
Exodus?
I think it's April 16th,
So mid-April. Is
April
that
15th.
so? That's California. That's West Coast.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's NorCal.
Okay, Midwest NorCal, or damn it, mid-April NorCal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I know Genesis got moved, so they moved Exodus as well.
Gotcha.
And so, basically, it's like a month out from right now. I have been feeling like I've been enjoying the game a good amount, and I'm improving a good amount. So like that's been cool. Um,
Hell yeah.
Really, where I think my next big wave of improvement is going to come is in my defense and my edge guarding. Because I think
Yeah.
I think right now, I actually think like my neutral games and punish game, like for my level, may even be a bit ahead of some other players on my level. But like as a Sheik player, I should be able to hit my edge guards better, and I don't. And then I think like defense overall, as you get to the higher level, it's like if you can like not get killed off of something and like live barely, like then you get a whole nother chance to potentially take their stock. So like
Right.
those are like the two areas where it's like I really want to get those up to par. Because like if I was able to hit some edge guards like in this set, for example, or like other sets, like, and I just had like a flowchart kind of in my brain of what to do against some characters, like it would be very good for me. But
Right.
um, it's something where it's like I I keep trying the same stuff that I've been trying and it doesn't work. So it's like I obviously need to try other things, but uh like I don't know, sometimes like it's going to take me thinking to figure that out, and so like the analysis will help hopefully. Um
And that co-main situation where you're looking at both characters in a very different perspective now, that also can kind of help you get in the habit of going like, okay, why is Zero Suit doing better against Spaceys? Okay, well, grab punishes are more threatening, vertical moves. Sheik's only vertical move is that F tilt or up tilt maybe, so maybe I can try to use more of that or less of something else, etc. But that can all come from realizing like, wait, why is Falco not pressuring me so much? Oh, it's because my shield grab is more threatening. Is there a way I
yeah.
can make my out of shield more threatening as Sheik and kind of convince Ivan to stop pressuring me as closely?
Yeah.
Work backwards
So like
almost.
I think like uh in general, like right now, I feel like my defense is like it's not bad, but it's like if I could get it a bit better, like that's probably gonna make a big wave. And then same with my edge guarding. Like I don't think my edge guarding's bad, but it could like if it gets a bit better, then it's like, you hit 5% more edge guards, like you're
That's the stop.
5% better or something, like something like that.
Yep.
So like I agree completely with like small things definitely add up at the high level is kind of what I've learned. Uh,
Yep.
so I think like just working on a bunch of small things right now is gonna net me stuff, even if it's not like a huge improvement. Like maybe in a couple months, all those things add up and I start placing a lot better. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
And
overall, like it's I feel like the lessons too, like it's nice to have these opportunities because like I'll always tell myself like, oh, I should go and watch this VOD, and then I never like can force myself to do it sometimes unless I'm like someone watch it with me and like let's talk about it. Because I think conversations are more helpful than having it in my head.
yeah, you have to like figure it out enough to either discuss or explain or like question another person about it, which gets you
Yeah.
more involved than just like, oh, my edgeguard didn't work here. Why? I mean, I could just go to the part where it works now. Yay.
No, yeah. So like and like I don't even think like for me as like as an analyzer, like I don't think I'm bad at figuring out what's like what went wrong or like what kind of the options are, but it's so much more helpful for me to bounce what I think off of what someone else thinks. Because like you and me may think two different things about a scenario, and so then like we're able to talk about it, and overall I gain more knowledge that way
Yeah.
rather than just like trying to use my own bubble to be like, well, this is what I know, so hopefully I can try this. Like it'd be hard to be creative sometimes in some scenarios where, like I said, I feel sometimes tunnel visioned with my characters. Like I only know what I know, and
Right.
so seeing it through someone else's will definitely help.
It's the same perspective thing as the co-main because like
Yeah.
not even just because I play a much floatier character, but like I play different kinds of Roy players because they're different people. I haven't played PwrUp. I play different kinds of Meta Knight players because I play Dawn and I haven't played Parker, but like I think maybe once. So it's valuable to get like the widest breadth of experience when you're trying to basically find new options like this.
Yeah.
That being said, do you want to go ahead and hop into this game?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Let's hop into it.
Okay, go ahead and mute this. So, yeah, they're going to get this transition here in just a second. And I agree with pretty much. Okay, so that's thing number one. We're going to talk about this real quick. I agree that for the most part, your neutral and punish are like pretty clean. They're pretty up there, and that the defense and the edge guarding is where it's not even falling up. It's not falling apart by any means, but like your defense gets a little bit better. You get one more chance, and when your neutral and punish are so threatening, that can also increase the pressure that that your opponent faces, both to maybe go for something a little wackier or less guaranteed to get a kill, and also just makes them crumble a little bit more in neutral.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Something that you don't get punished for in this set, but I think is a bad habit, is this forward smash. You do a lot of these forward smashes in this set.
Yeah. I definitely think that this. So, if we look at me like a year ago, these forward smashes are like 80% of like what I did in the game. And I do think like in tournament, like part of that still comes out, and it's like in friendlies, I feel like I don't forward smash as much anymore, but in these pressure situation, like it does come out. But like I guess too, like part of it is like when people have. I like to test some stuff out too against like players not from my region. Like if I know they have like CD for example, and he plays tilt stick, so they probably never see someone do this. It was like something that I was thinking,
Yeah.
but and then I didn't get punished for a lot of them, and I was like, oh, it's working. But
So
I do
long as
agree.
it's conscious,
Yeah,
because this can. Go ahead.
I agree that if they hold down there, it's like I get wrecked, you know, or if they like shield it, I get wrecked. So, but I was seeing that some of them were. I do think it was like a conscious decision.
Okay,
Um,
that's all fine then.
yeah,
It's a very, if it's a habit, it's scary. But if it's a conscious
yeah,
decision to just kind of, and they're not punishing it, that's perfectly fine.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Also, real quick on the topic of like dropping habits from about a year ago, there's like 4 situations in the set where I'm about halfway to thinking like, oh, tell me he doesn't dare, and you don't. And I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
It's so tempting.
I have beat that out of my brain. Oh my god, because I used to do it all the time. So yeah,
It's also like, but what if though? If this dare
yeah.
they're at 50, this is great.
And so I've been watching Dr. Grin play like some of the players sometimes. Like he'll stream it on Discord to me to like because he's a Sheik player and he'll ask for like some thoughts on certain thing, and uh like I see a lot of like the old stuff I used to do in like his play sometimes, which I had to like beat out of me. So I know it's hard to like beat out as a Sheik player, but like it's good to be like, yeah, that's something that I don't do anymore because I know it's bad.
It's like a marker of progress.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least for that specific habit. Like you and
yeah,
Dr. Grin or any 2 individuals are different, and it's not that some person A is strictly better than person B, but it's just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's nice to see like, oh yeah, because it's easy to forget that you did that if you don't do it anymore because you don't
yeah,
see it. But
yeah,
okay, so F smashes are intentional. That's perfectly fine because you don't get punished for this. You don't even CC it. I don't believe the whole set, so you're good.
yeah.
So here, this situation, you short hop to pressure, and Roy full hops.
Uh-huh.
And what happens here is you do not CC the forward air, and you get grabbed afterwards because you have to like land from the fair.
Uh-huh.
So I'll play it
I
at normal
see.
speed.
Yeah, that was ambiguous to me because I thought he was going to the platform. And so I guess that's something like in my brain I was like, oh, I'm gonna empty land and up tilt right here. It's probably what I was thinking. And then he hit me because it looks like right there he's going to the platform. I was like, oh, okay. I'll do this fair and then up tilt. So kind of, and
Okay.
that's what I think right now. But I don't know what I actually ended up doing. Like maybe he hit me in the lag of the fair or something.
So long as you were like doing something here, I think it's that you can't CC during. I think it's fine. It's just that CC is so free at this percent, and this character has nothing
Yeah.
airborne that makes you matter, makes you care about CC.
Uh-huh.
So this is just, this is just an opening that he otherwise wouldn't have got. But
Okay.
again, if you were doing something else that you can't like up tilt or up smash that you can't CC during, well, up tilt, I guess, is about it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, up tilt or jump.
Yeah.
If you picked an option that couldn't CC, this is kind of an ambiguous jump, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I feel like if I wasn't doing that, if I wasn't trying to up tilt, like that fair, I think I fast fell and L canceled, so like I should have been holding down there. Because usually if I'll fast fall, like I'll.
You're hold downing anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I fast fell right at the end there. But yeah, it makes. I think I was probably trying to go for something else. That's what it
Gotcha.
was.
That's perfectly fine then. It's the same kind of deal as like the F smash, where it's if there was a reason you're doing it, that's a big step up. And if that
Yeah.
like if your read at 10 seconds into the match was wrong, great. Like who cares? You got information.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is okay. So you get beat up a little bit, and then you get this opening. Also, dang, that was a quality down tilt. So you get this opening, and you take this all the way across the stage. And I'll play it. I think that this down throw was a really, really good call because he can't get to ledge. So he gets stuck here. If he DIs it correctly, he gets stuck here, and he even worse than normal tech chase situation. And if he DIs it wrong, he only ends up right here anyway, and you can do whatever you want to him. And he's approaching the percent where like you can really mess this character up now. So I think that's a good call. And then for this edge guard.
Okay, I am so lost in this freeze frame right here because I did not know what to do.
I think that
As
if
Zero
you're
Suit, I know what
lost,
to do here, and then as Sheik, I do not know what to do.
I think
As
as
Zero Suit, I
Sheik,
know
when you're
what to do.
lost, needles, especially early in the set, are a very safe thing. Be like, okay,
Uh-huh.
one is power up gonna remember like needles, those are a problem, and he definitely does. He doesn't get hit by needles in a way that kills him in the set, which is very
Yeah.
important because he falls fast enough for that to be a problem.
Yeah.
And this also gives you information on okay, how is power up going to recover? How is power up / Roy going to recover here? What he ends up doing is taking the hit and then just up being early. And in this instance, you back off a ton, and he didn't need to up be early, but he was concerned about the distance here. So he up bees early, and then you get like a reward off of it. But
I kind of mess up right here. It's like I think I missed my dash or something, or a jump early. But
so
we can talk about this.
yeah, when you just wave dash back here, like yes, you technically did bait out the up B, but this up B was a mistake. This up
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure how CD plays, but this up B reads to me that CD will just kind of try to ramen noodle and intercept at ledge, and that Roy wants to just power through that.
That was also something I feel like. Okay, I don't like getting clipped by that up B, and then like he's on stage, and then like I lost the corner situation. If that makes sense.
It's
like that's like the thing where like that idea is why I never get good edge guards.
Yeah, you do have to take the risks, but the good news is you realize this later in the set as well. The good news is that you have a really, really good stall. What is it called, by the way? I've heard Shino. I've heard
Sammy stall.
Sammy
so
stall.
Shino is where you do the poof. Sammy is where you use the initial part of the up B to grab the ledge.
Okay, so Sammy stall.
Okay, yeah.
So because you have the Sammy stall, it's like it is much lower risk than normal to just stall here because Roy can't snap to this. He has to stop going up to actually get to ledge. So like even later in the set, you kind of realize like, oh, if I just go to ledge and like Sammy stall, what is Roy gonna do to me?
Yeah.
And then you can basically buy time because Roy. That is a difficult thing when edge guarding is when do you grab ledge, but you can grab ledge early and then just guarantee you're invincible refreshing. And then again, you do this later in the set. You go up, you go down there, double jump back air, really kills that character right where he starts this up B. And then once you've enforced that a few times, or even just once, the Roy player goes, okay, I have to do something different now. And that's where edge guards with a little more space like this aren't quite as bad. But even if you're on ledge and they overshoot you and they go on stage, they do have that end lag. So you can just ledge dash grab, ledge dash down to ledge dash anything you want.
So okay, I have a question that you may know the answer to, but I haven't tested it. When you're in the lag of the up B, like let's say Meta Knight lands on stage from his side B, or Roy lands on stage from the up B, or Mario lands on stage from the up B, like they all have their lag there. Do you get ASDI down if you hold down there?
Yes.
And so you don't get true CC there.
Think of it this way, the only way you get true CC is when you are quite literally crouching.
Okay. So when in the lag, you will not get the true CC there.
You only get ASDI. So it's the same way as, if Roy's mashing down tilt, you have to break ASDI down, not CC. It's just people call it CC because ASDI down is much longer and more awkward to say. And true CC doesn't come up actually as much as it sounds like it would.
Because one thing I've thought, so I've been really bad at in general punishing when people go on stage there, and I had the ledge, and hopefully it happens later in this. I don't remember if it does, but like, I feel like I should, like you said, do the ledge dash grab or like neutral get up down tilt, something like that, or but I feel like I never do. And part of the reason I never went for like the down tilt or F tilt was because I was just like, oh, they're gonna hold down there and maybe I won't get anything. But if I didn't know whether it was ASDI or CC, and so maybe that was kind of scaring me out of an option that may actually work now.
And it's also dependent on percent. So like your tilts maybe not so much, but if you want to do like ledge hop down air, by like 80%, they can ASDI it down, but I think they probably still leave the ground to get launched.
Uh-huh.
And hell, if you can
Yeah.
get a turnaround forward air and send them like back off stage, that's almost worse for them that they didn't go high.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just, obviously to say nothing of just like grabbing them and then just, getting
Throwing
the
them
mix
back.
up or tech chase. Yeah,
Yeah.
throwing them back is the immediate kind of like want, but that means that weighs the 50-50 on the throw mix up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you can then use that to enforce a slightly more likely to hit, throw them on stage. And then it depends on character and recovery. There's tons of different factors you can play with once you can get that punish.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
There's a moment later where you go to ledge and you do neutral get up, but that's just Roy uppy is too. They can force you to move. They can force you to move off ledge unless you're invincible at a timing where you have to roll to get around them, and it's still kind of hard. It's still kind of a tight timing. So
Okay.
it's not always neutral get up is a little doesn't work as well against Roy as it does against some other characters.
Okay.
Okay, so let's. Okay, the next thing here after you do this is a little scuffed. You missed the dash,
Yeah, I missed the dash, so.
but you get this one. That's a great reverse fair. First off, so these needles. We're gonna back up. I'm gonna play the whole edgeguard for context.
Yes.
But these needles are definitely like what do I do needles. So here, if you want to throw them here at this timing and height, it will catch the side B here.
Yeah.
Which this is actually a really weird position for Roy because if you needles here and he side B's immediately, he gets hit. If he waits to side B and you jump needles, he gets hit. So he's actually not that great of a position, even though you're just charging needles. But these are a little too late. You can't see the needles, but it's basically
Yeah. They're over there. Yeah.
yeah. So now you've done the needles too late, even to catch the stall, and he can get back to ledge for free.
Yeah. So I have a question. Like right here, like after this fair, do you think it's a good idea to just like run raw wave dash to the ledge?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's one thing that like I never do because I like to just like try to at least react a little bit before I do grab the ledge, but it's probably the right decision to just like go there and then react from there. But
What you can do is you can, especially if you're comfortable like raw wave dash to ledge, you can just raw wave dash to ledge while you look at this character. Because if you know where they are in relation to ledge, you're on ledge, so you don't have to worry about that. Additionally, something you can do in these situations where you're not super close is you could just like run off short hop, run off Nair just to get that active frame out there because he has a high enough percent to where that pretty much kills. Excuse me. Especially if you impact him like over here and not like at ledge. You try a few times from ledge when you're on ledge, where you do just ledge hop Nair. And it just weak hit trades, and he just uppies again immediately because he can just do that.
yeah.
So I think that it's percent dependent as well. So like at 120, weak hit Nair probably is just going to kill regardless, even at ledge. But at lower percents, you're going to have to commit more to like a reverse fair, and like time the Nair differently to try to get strong hit.
Yeah, or
Go
even
down
just
there.
force on stage and then be like, I'm gonna build up damage in this situation. Like that may be another option.
Yeah, on-stage punish is scary.
Yeah.
Going against Sheik because so like if PwrUp goes on stage right here and he makes that decision, he has a 50% chance of survival
Yeah.
that cannot be ASDI down. That he can't shield it and just hope you're late. He has to buffer spot dodge and make himself more open. Like it is a little more set in stone than a lot of on-stage punishes.
Yeah, and the thing too is like, let's say if I throw off stage at 115, it's like he dies in, I back air, he dies. If he dies off stage, he's even further off stage than like, that I get to kind of do that again. Kind of is how I
it doesn't get better.
yeah, like it's not like he can insta up B like we were talking about with the Nair, where back throw on bad DI, like, well, it's good DI because he doesn't die, but it's still like off stage DI at 115. Like, he's not gonna instant up B and grab the ledge like before I'd get there. It's kind of
Yep.
what I think.
And sometimes you'll get players who they kind of like don't think about that concept. Like, I can't go that far away, I'll die. And then they just don't DI, and then you hit them anyway and they die. It's very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this edgeguard situation comes up pretty frequently because you'll get these hits off stage. And then
Yeah,
Roy
and
with
then
the stall.
I'd always be like, let me try and catch the jump with the needle or the side B with the needle, but I should just go to the ledge and play that mix up more.
Yeah, there are definitely situations, like, for example, if Roy was already like here, I think just throwing needles is like a very safe way to. They could die if they do something wrong because you can't get there in time. But in situations like this where you can get there in time, then that's the better option long term.
Yeah, that's something I've talked about with like Mickey recently. Is like against Meta Knight side B, like sometimes I'll throw the needles when it's like I should just grab the ledge, and then sometimes I'll grab the ledge, but then it was like the wrong decision. I should have thrown needle, and like I need to like think about those more. But I feel like I always do the one that that may give them more time to kind of figure out what to do, or the other way around.
That's a good point, actually, the time aspect. If you throw needles, PwrUp knows that you can't actually threaten for like a fair while. If you go to ledge,
Yeah.
you could just go back on stage to punish. Like, if you want to read that they're going to go on stage, you could just ledge dash, wait for the up B to finish. If you want to just refresh, that extends the problem, and they're falling, and they can't do that forever. If you want to drop down, double jump bear, that outright kills them at like 60. So you force the issue, and you force them to pick something much faster.
Yeah.
It's a more threatening decision too, because you have a kill move effectively for where that is on off stage, a kill move or an on stage punish that is very very significant versus okay, I can just take the needle, and if I just don't jump, I'm fine. Unless it's like the very tip of the needle range here. Let's keep going. We are about 40 minutes in, and I want to get through I want to get through this whole VOD if possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, I like the repeated pressure here. Also, I love it. I love it. Let's go to the plat. What's he gonna do? Yeah. Like, he has the jump up dare, but that's like a hard call out that you're gonna do something as opposed to, just drift to the right and try to cover it with a Dacus. So this gets you a lot of mileage. This kind of thing. Okay, actually, let's back that up a little bit. So the way you use shield in this matchup, I think you rely on shield too much. There's definitely times that you just absolutely need to shield in any matchup. Those are unavoidable. But you start running down your shield, and at any percent, if that down tilt, like that down tilt is really threatening as a shield poke. So I'll back it to where you have the Skittle shield.
Yeah.
And this isn't a side B string, but it's like the same concept. Actually, we'll use this back here. So after the hit, your shield is, I'm not going to say unusable, but you can't block down tilt.
Uh-huh.
And actually, that's how game 3 ends. Is you get your shield's about this small, and you can kind of get stuck in the fountain plat, and then he just up tilts and ends it from there. So when your shield is this small, you can't keep shielding because best case scenario, they break your shield because they hit it. Worst case scenario, you just can't block whatever they were doing anyway, but you've stopped moving. Mm-hmm. So something you could do is you could just go to ledge.
Yeah.
Like you can literally just go stall for like 4 or 5 seconds and then just ledge dash. Your ledge dashes are good enough to like enforce that.
Yeah. One thing I've also been thinking about is going to the platform here.
I think at this percent, that's not a good call because you still can't shield. And Roy has really threatening like jump up onto plat, down air confirms. Jump, shark plat with up air into confirms.
Yeah. I guess the up air I was...
Against other characters, it's a better idea. But against Roy specifically, because this is the part where you're at the percent where if you get hit by sour spot up air, that's worse. Because now you're in tumble, but have gone nowhere. That's somewhat unique to Roy, though. Most characters can't confirm into a kill off of that really safe, like, sour spot up air on a plat. but that is Roy specific.
Okay.
Okay, so that was shield. And then, yeah, actually, you do go to a plat in a bit here. Your shield gets low again. So you see how, even if you're angling down, this doesn't fully cover your legs.
Yeah.
So being able to threaten a shield drop fully makes this almost unblockable. Like, your shield's just too low for this to be an effective defense. And if that was a sweet spot, if that was a sour spot, you'd be dead to bear.
Yeah.
Good awareness you were going to slide off there. And then you forward throw here. Yeah, that's just... PwrUp is calling out your habit to full hop needle.
Full hop needle, yeah.
Because then that's a very easy... Or not easy thing. For that F-tilt, it's very easy to trade with. And there's no risk behind it.
Yeah.
Because he's at the distance where you can't guarantee that grab. Okay, so here... Is it... You tech chase... Yeah, so I like... You forward throw right here. And I like the idea. Because, you want to guarantee that he goes off stage. But again, you go to the needles, and you're just hoping that he jumps into it and also dies somehow. And at 40, that's not necessarily going to happen on its own. Like, you got to go make that happen.
Yeah.
You are at 0, though, so you're not going to get tumbled by upbeat. Even if he hits you, like, on stage with it. So, like, the worst thing that can happen is you go out there to go to ledge. He does it super early, which is scary also, because that's burning his resource immediately against a character that's known for edgeguarding, and he's only at 40. But even if you get clipped going to ledge, you're on stage, he's on ledge, like, okay, it didn't work out, but that's fine. Like,
yeah.
It's not like you're getting hit by, like, a kill move at 100. Like a Sheik Poof can be kind of scary to trade with if you're a floaty at high percent, but, like, it's just Roy up B. Okay. So this is, yeah, here we go. And that's an example of the needle working and buying you time. But here
I should have done the stall there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you get him to the distance where he doesn't have a ton of mix-ups left.
Yeah.
Because he's right about here. He can't go this whole swath of stage and threaten ledge. He can mainly just go, like, maybe on stage barely or to ledge. And because his up B doesn't grab ledge super fast, if you just stall there, you can basically time him out in that sense, and then just the roll kills him. It was still overall a very clean stock and a clean fair at the end. But that is an optimization. He had a chance to hit you when you want to minimize those. I do want to point out, again, even in game 1, PwrUp is very clearly aware of this angle.
Yeah.
He's staying outside of your little right triangle, right? Sorry. Now it's a right triangle. But and this might be a CD habit that his region has kind of gotten used to. But like this is a dangerous zone to be in unless you're fully committed to anti-airing Sheik as Sheik jumps there. So since he's not, it's game 1, so he's probably just not trying to go hand with the reads yet. He's just staying out of the zone. There's no point for him to be in that zone, and he knows it. Okay, so this is the nair I had mentioned earlier. This nair, very likely to trade, but it's the sour nair trading, and you know he's holding it. There's nowhere else he'd be holding. So what happens here is y'all trade. You both go into tumble, which is very important, and then he just gets ledge for free. So if you expect him to be going really low like this, you could have refreshed again. You could drop down bear, drop down back air, or even drop down a little more in air to intercept him down here before he can get to ledge. Because when this trades, it trades at ledge, and he probably could have gotten on stage barely if he was mashing up B, but like this is pretty close to not being able to get to get on stage already. So if you just make this trade lower, then you get a better result. Okay, and then this is a very important moment here. You do not realize that your jump gets sniped, and you kind of just die. Additionally, you have a habit against Roy that PwrUp kind of exploits, where, oops, let me just go back a few seconds. After this up air, you tend to jump. After either an up air or an up tilt, you try to jump away from danger. But because of that, even if you would up beat here, because of that, that is a kill move and a half on you when you have to land on stage. It comes up later in the set as well, but there's like a really important moment. You're at like 30, you get hit by up tilt, and then you try to jump out of the up air, and you just get clipped. Your jump gets clipped, and you immediately are... You're not fully screwed, but like you take so much more damage, and PwrUp doesn't have to worry about your mix-ups anymore. He doesn't have to worry about, oh, what about jump away, air dodge to plat? It's like, nope, there's no option there. Yeah. Your option is to wiggle, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm that's some of my matchup inexperience showing too, because I feel like against some other characters, I know like when I can jump and when I can't, but I did not know about the up airs there, or like kind of what I should. Cause I just thought I could get away, but then he, like you said, definitely just was like, oh.
Yep. That's one of the scariest things about Roy, is that those sour spot up airs send you nowhere. And if he's doing them as he's landing, which is easy because he's a fast faller, you just don't even go anywhere, and he's actionable again.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of with up tilt. Not obviously the same thing, but just the ability to kind of know what's a common string versus what's a common true combo, and if that's a weak point, you can jump out of. Good readiness with a meteor cancel, and really good spacing on the meteor cancel to get to ledge before poof too, because that then puts him in an awful position. Like, he hits you here, and out of nowhere, he's edgeguarded himself.
Yeah, I need to be better about the refreshes.
Yeah, if you refresh here, he dies. He just
I feel like that's something that's in my capabilities of doing, but it's not something that I've like thought about doing against Roy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy to think that Roy. It's easy to forget that Roy actually, from the time he presses up B to the time he can grab ledge, it's kind of a big gap.
Yeah, that was something I was just thinking about too. Is like, he could even just be hovering there, but like if I'm invincible, like I think my initial up B grabs kind of before his like would, even if he's hovering there. So,
absolutely, yeah.
That's something I need to keep in mind.
Okay, it is this game. So this is the when you try to he gets sour up air into up tilt at like 30 or 40 and gets your jump, and that's a huge amount of value. Oh, it's strong, not even sour. And you do land to the plat, but even then, that's like another 30% before you get an escape option.
Yeah.
Back up again.
I need to be more aware of these up airs.
Yeah, because this one, like, it's not just that your leg doesn't get hit. You fully just... Part of this is because you jump forward, but also even if you jump back, you get like 2-3 frames of movement before you get hit by this. So
yeah,
there's nowhere for you to really go when you jump here.
Yeah, that's something I need to respect more.
It's kind of a scary tightrope to walk, because the better players you play, the better their punish games will be. So you want to avoid them as much as possible. But also the more you're going to die if you don't have a resource.
Yeah.
So against situations like that, it's definitely, in my experience, which is Mewtwo, which is probably the most privileged character in the cast with regards to this. But sometimes your option to just get hit and not use your resource and just use your DI and SDI to stay alive is more valuable than the possibility of getting away. Because if you convert this into bear, you don't have a jump. You have to land on stage. You have to deal with Roy, Roy up air F smash, Roy do spike F smash. Like, you die.
Yeah.
Like that's how the Giphy starts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That should have been F smash. But regardless, yeah, that is game one. And that still was very close. Like, obviously, I'm not calling out what I'm seeing from PwrUp that is necessarily things I don't understand or don't get the reasoning behind, because you're the one with the lesson. So I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh, you kind of just skated away with a punish game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to 5 minutes here. So here, it's just another example of the really safe on-stage needle edgeguard that it's safe, but it doesn't get you anything.
Yeah.
Especially by game 2, when he's not really falling for it, you need to you have that whole F smash and F air or nair in this case to realize like, okay, what am I going to do for
Right.
edge guard?
Yeah.
You even run away to get like the start of the wave dash to back turn, and you kind
Yeah.
of just let it drop. Good bait out on the get up attack. Okay, so then at 25 here, it's basically the same thing about nair, where you use the active frames on nair to trade, but that's not something that's good for you even
Yeah.
at 100
Okay.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because of that hang time, he can delay his recovery a little more than a lot of characters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that that nair just like even if it hits, like you said, it's not that good. So I should definitely at least try and do one more refresh there is what I'm thinking, or like go for the bear earlier in the edge guard. Because there's like a spot where it's like I could have kind of just reacted and hit him like after
So
right here,
one too many
like
side
right there.
Bs.
Yeah, right there I could have hit him. So
Yep. Additionally, even if you don't think you can hit him, if you just drop down bear, you can still up you to the plat, like or to the ledge.
yeah,
It's not a pick one option in the truest sense of the term. You can get both,
yeah,
and it's a different timing, which keeps you from being predictable. With like there might be a sliver of a timing where Roy can sneak to ledge here, like if he gets you to roll early or something. But if he doesn't, so like I don't think we've talked about this actually. So if you're having trouble with something that a player is doing, there's three basic things that are happening. What are they doing? Where on screen is their character doing it? And at what timing or when are they doing it? So I was actually talking with somebody about zero suit back air on PS2. Like, it's a really good way to clean up stocks at very low risk. It's hard to get around for a lot of the cast. But if you know what they're doing, where they have to be to do it, and let's say half, because zero suit has to be on the plat, this is how you start building a strategy around a move that you think is coming or a position you think your opponent wants to hold.
uh
So let's flip it, right? Let's say PwrUp is going, okay, how do I get back on stage? I don't know what Suvir is going to be doing. I know where. It'll be around ledge here somewhere. And I only kind of know when because of the ledge refresh timings.
yeah,
So if he's working with 1.5 out of 3, if you just want to, I guess, use the numbers for this,
yeah,
he can kind of get a decently educated guess. But if your timings are different based on how you're refreshing at different timings, when you're not in range of him at least, and he only kind of knows where you're going to be because you could have a back air over here, you could have, you could drop really low, you could drop a little higher before you do it. You could just only be refreshing, and there could be basically no where. If he only has like an educated guess on the where, this is a ton harder for him to come back from.
mm-hmm.
He has to take more risks because there's less information he knows.
Mm-hmm.
And, and similarly, like if Roy is spamming down tilt, it's a very good move. But if you know what he's doing and you know where because he can't move, and you know when because when very frequently is just ASAP. A lot of the times people will just do things as soon as possible out of habit and out of like efficiency. Then that can really open up a lot of otherwise not great answers. Let those start working. So like personal experience, Mewtwo forward smash, right? Like it's not his best move by like a margin of 5 or so.
Yeah.
But it's very good at going like, well, if you're gonna be there, and then you can use tools like that in creative ways. And all of a sudden, you have the Roy player going, "Wait, is Mewtwo Forward Smash good?" And like they haven't gotten hit by what's the Sheik equivalent? By like maybe they haven't gotten hit by Sheik back air on stage, for example. And now they're seeing something new at a different timing and spacing than they expected, and it's a problem they have to solve.
Yeah.
Okay, this was the edge guard. Let's keep going. This is an interesting situation that comes up here, actually. So I'll let it play out.
Okay, yeah. This is something I feel like I have worked on this, and this is like I understand completely like the the risk reward of doing this option is at low percent is not good, and so it's something that I've actively been trying to work on because uh, he definitely hard called me out here, and I lost the stock for it, and I could have gone on stage and taken a punish and probably lived, you know.
Yeah, it's
And
that
so
same issue of like it's scary to willingly choose the option that gets you hit, but you
yeah,
probably live. Versus here, he can cover this and then still punish you, so it's very unlikely that you die or unlikely that
yeah,
you make this.
yeah. So
And
I understand completely like the issue behind this.
sick. So if you already know, you know, great. Okay, so the next thing is you do the back air. You do the back air edge guard here. So here, also you get the needles just to like either force the jump or like force him away. This is a really, really good needles. Because of this, here, the only way he gets out of this is if he jumps. And if he jumps, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like that, you want him to jump here rather than get hit by the needles, frankly. It'd be better for you.
Yeah.
So being able to just enforce this and make his position worse for free is great. Great, great, great. And then this back air, this is why he's been up being early at the start of the set and hasn't been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I would bet you $5 CD does this to him. And then that's why he defaults to up being early to like mess up timing.
Okay.
But like this is the kind of thing that how you secure the stocks, because this all started off of what all this started off of. Yeah, you just got to grab at 20% on the left side of the stage. You got, you know, a pretty good combo. You got 8 to 80% and you killed him for it. Like off of one grab on the left, you took him coast to coast. So if you can convert all of that, like you already done the hard part. If you can just kind of work on your confidence in edge guarding and convert it, like, you know, finish your food in that sense, then you're going to get a lot more stocks like that.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Okay. Back throw. So here's another example of where the stall really helps you on timing.
Yeah.
I think the decision to stay on ledge here, for the same reason that he stayed on ledge against you last stock, is the correct one. Like, you can punish him on stage with a grab, guaranteed. It forces him on stage or forces him to hope you mess up and, you know, risk death. And in this case, you do kind of mess up by not stalling, and he doesn't die at 7, but it is the right idea of staying on ledge and then rolling, but you need a little, because of the way his up B works, you need a little more invuln.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about that as well. So here, I'm amazed he DI'd that away. This up air, this is a brave thing to DI away. I love the idea of the up air mix-up, though.
Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting it. Because I've been naring here, too.
But this is DI away, though, right? On the up air?
Yeah, he is DIing. I don't know why that is DI. I don't know.
If you fair, he dies. So, like, that is a... Even DI's away.
I can't figure out why he would DI away. But I don't know. Maybe he was thinking like up tilt, but even then you get comboed. So I don't know.
Yeah, it might have just been like an accident or like a flub on his end with the DI. But
yeah,
I love the idea of the mix-up. Like, this is the time to pull it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's a time that he would be thinking, like, okay, no, I need to survive, it's last stock. Last stock at, like, the scary percent where he dies if he's wrong, but still gets a play if he comes back.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so this, you get pressured here. So he's jumping past your shield. He hits your shield. I love just full hopping to this platform. That's a great answer.
That's something I've been working on recently. Is like, I think it's gonna help me against Falco too when I'm getting lasered in the corner. So it's something I've thought about recently. But I think it's good with dealing with pressure sometimes because Sheik has like frame 3 jump squat with a good full hop. So
you zoom.
yeah.
And even like we were talking about the last game where Roy's platform pressure is pretty good. Metal Cavern's a little high even for him. It becomes a little more tricky. If he's gonna full hop onto that platform, he has to full hop. He can't.
Yeah.
That short hop up air isn't gonna cover the whole plat like on PS2.
Yeah, and it'd probably be like the weak hit. So.
Yeah, he's not gonna get tumble.
Yeah.
Additionally, the only way he covers this, especially on Metal Cavern, is by only covering this option. If he wants to stop you from jumping here, he can't stop you from doing anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. And you, yeah, just fare off the platform into, hey, refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about the refresh a ton already. Let's
Yeah.
go into the game 3 here. Okay, so this is. I like the idea.
I like the idea too. I should have grabbed the ledge.
But he can just hold up here, and this doesn't work anymore.
You think so? Okay, yeah.
So when
That
you
makes
get
sense.
when you get grab released, the only way that you go grounded away is if you aren't holding up. If you hold up, he goes like here-ish, and with a little more vertical velocity, so he doesn't fall quite as far before he's actionable.
Okay.
So this doesn't. It's a knowledge check, and he failed it, but it doesn't work against people who know that.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't even know that. So
It doesn't come up a lot because most characters have grabs
throw,
that are. It only comes up in doubles primarily because most characters would want to throw you. But yeah, and then you, like you said, going to ledge. Where is yeah? You do also. I think if you're gonna give him, if he's on ledge already, I think that's about the appropriate amount of space to give him though. So make him ledge dash down tilt. Like that's the only thing he can threaten with you if he's on ledge right here. But you can also threaten that with the short hop fair, which you've already killed him for multiple times this set. So it's a scary thing to want to go for. Okay. Okay, and then here is the edge guard. I like the forward throw. And the needles into raw wave dash or into wave dash to ledge, that's great. I think the needles there are great because you move after them. You get to ledge.
Yeah.
But you get the neutral get up. You press the wrong ledge button.
Yeah.
If you roll here, then he just dies. And you still get the punish if he manages to sneak past you. Assuming you timed the roll correctly. You either get a punish or at least decent pressure because he's still cornered and doesn't have the best out of shield. I'm going to skip a little bit to 27. Okay, actually this is the F smash. So we already talked about the F smash. If it was a decision, like you said, that's perfectly fine. And then obviously he didn't punish it in the entire set. So
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. And here I want to just refresh the last sequence. Actually, let me go from here. So basically the beginning of the stock. Well, let's watch the whole stock out. Note how much you're shielding. So you do a lot of run-up shield, and that's not a bad thing, but it means that you can't rely on shield so much in situations like this. Did I? YouTube? Hello?
Oh. Hello?
Okay, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
The stream didn't go down this time, which is weird. Maybe it's a Discord thing. It's been down today. But yeah, because you use shield so much in neutral here to kind of try to punish or bait an option, that means you have to realize you've done that and that it's lower than normal, and use it less in situations like this. Like here, you shield the down tilt and continue to shield. Excuse me. Which means it's less of a... So like here, he grabs you anyway. But that doesn't... Now you're stuck on the platform with like half your shield or less. And it just gets worse and worse. Because you have to get back somehow.
Yeah.
I think it also... Well, okay, it's easy to say this when he didn't cover it. But I think it's... Threatening going to ledge here is also worth it. Because his back air... He needs to sweet spot you with that back air off ledge to kill you. He doesn't have the chic privilege of just like... ledge drop aerial to kill. But he does have that fountain platform. That fountain platform is the biggest Roy combo buff in the game. A lot of his aerials will just barely pop you up like that, even at high percent, and then that just leads perfectly into that smash attack. That's a scary, scary situation to be in. I know that you like fountain as a chic stage. I think it might be, next time you play a Roy, I think it might be worth considering banning Fountain and then just accepting either Green Hill or Wario, because you can use those platforms less effectively.
Yeah, I was wondering. I think I banned FD and Wario.
Let's see.
I don't remember.
Even
I
Wario,
banned,
Green Hill.
Green Hill and Wario. Yeah. I wasn't sure if he was gonna go FD. I honestly, I haven't played this matchup to know if FD is like good or not for Roy in this matchup.
Probably
I know it's
depends on the
bad for
kind of
Sheik usually.
player.
Yeah.
Like in the same way that there's, like you might have heard the term about melee Marths primarily. You have the
Yeah.
swingers and the dash dancers.
Yeah.
You kind of have the same thing with, a lot of characters, but you can simplify it in similar ways with Roy. You have the Roy players who like the horizontal speed, the down tilt threat, the decent, the good grab range. And then you have the Roy players who like, oh hey, it's Marth Fair on a fast faller, and you can enforce that really good aerial more frequently. Um, yeah, it's a weird matchup, Roy, but
Yeah.
so I think in general maybe experiment. Maybe experiment on Fountain of Dreams more, but I don't think Endgame it's a great stage in the matchup for you overall. I know it's a very good Sheik stage, of course, but I think it's a better Roy stage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll experiment. Hopefully I get to play the matchup a bit more soon so that I can work on some of this stuff. I feel like my edge guarding, part of the reason I was so like hesitant with it is also just like unfamiliarity with what I should be doing. And I feel like I'm kind of like if I don't know something, I don't want to risk more than I have to, but that's like kind of just the way I've been.
That's a fair perspective, but once you do have to start taking those risks even in unfamiliar
Yeah.
matchups once you get to a certain level of play. And
Yeah.
it's also the fastest way to learn is try something, and if it doesn't work, note that, oh hey, the nair worked and it didn't like kill him, and I couldn't stop him after that, so don't do the nair again, let's try something else.
Yeah.
Roy and
I guess I
Squirtleuppies
was
are very
just
similar
like
in that regard.
Yeah, I guess I was just like kind of hesitant to do that in bracket as opposed to like if it was friendlies. Like I said, like it's easier to uh, test things out in friendlies too than
100%.
in the bracket. But yeah, I that's why I think like the analysis always helps me because it's like, oh, I could have done this. Now I'll practice this in friendlies and
Yep.
uh,
I think
hopefully
in general, if you're in an unfamiliar matchup again in the same way with edge guarding, just go to ledge and see what they do, because
yeah,
they have to get
just
around
refresh
you.
till they do something, and then I'll get that information.
Right.
At least even if I just do full refresh the first time, like at least I know what they're trying to do. So
Yeah.
okay.
Like you said, that information that gets you started on building that strategy about how to punish them on stage, or is it feasible to punish them on stage? Can I intercept them? Do I have to intercept them? Are needles good, etc. So I think overall, just the big things to work on are kind of the confidence in edge guarding. Like I know it's much easier for me to say this both with my character choice and not having played the set, but sometimes you got to just try an edge guard even if you don't know if it's going to work, because like your punish is good as Sheik, but Sheik punish is not. It's not Stomp Knee. You're not going to just get that guaranteed kill if you land that hit at 80. You don't have the same level of confirms as some of the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
But to make up for that, you can just absolutely eviscerate them off stage if you can go out there and meet them. And like, it takes more specialized knowledge to do that, but it is much more ruthless. Additionally, it was mainly the last game, and then Fountain also exacerbated the issue. But when you shield in neutral, and when you choose to shield to bait something out or to keep yourself safe, you have to acknowledge that it's the same thing as rolling to ledge, right? Hey, I got out of the situation now. I'm going to pay for it for the next 3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
You're kicking it down the road. So there's nothing wrong with just going to ledge and just sami-stalling for like 3-4 reps. Enough to where you don't run out of vuln, but with how good your ledge dashes are, you have ledge dash shield, ledge dash roll, ledge dash tilt. You have tournament winner, you have neutral get up, you have all these other options that get buffed when your ledge dash is so consistent like yours is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah. That's about the last thing I have for you on this.
Okay.
I do think I'd agree with you that the defense and the edge guarding. And I liked, like, you got that back air in game 2. You started using that back air. You realized, like, oh, I can intercept like this. As you can do more of that during a tournament match, it's going to be a lot easier to adapt to players or characters that can kind of have found some like small trick or small timing change to throw off your timing, to where you aren't starting from zero. You're, oh, okay, if I just stall differently this time, maybe I can throw off their timing. And now it's a back and forth mind game instead of just what's happening. Why is this bear missing?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's about the end of it. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on about your goals or the set before we break for the week?
Uh, I think in general, I I hope I can bring some like more matchups where I struggle with the edge guarding. I actually think like since we've like in the past we've worked on the spacies, I think like I've gotten better at edge guarding spacies like a lot. But then it's like other matchups now where it's like I still like am unsure kind of what my flow chart should be. So I'm definitely I think you're right in the sense that I should go. I think right now it's probably better for me to just try going to the ledge more and see what happens and like try and do the needles as much in certain matchups. Like for example against Meta Knight 2 it may be better to do that, and then like if I can just refresh and force them on stage with the side B, like that may be good, you know.
Yeah.
Rather than like trying to needle him and then he side B's at the ledge anyway, so
Well, like think of the Ditto. I think it's easy to
yeah.
forget how threatening just a Sheik refreshing on a ledge can be for having no hitbox. Like
Yeah,
if you're a Sheik recovering, you can't really do anything to Sheik who's just refreshing on. The most you can do is try to
yeah,
time your up B because it happens to be invuln for a bit, and that's about it.
yeah, I agree.
And that's something else I think will be useful, like playing another character in tournament, is kind of getting a reset on like what options Sheik has that are uniquely scary.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last thing before we break for the week. So you were able to use both discounts at the same time, right? The bulk lessons
Yeah,
and the testimonial.
yeah, I was.
Perfect. Is there anything fancy you needed to do for that? Because I was going to suggest that
No.
my other students do that as well if they were going to buy bulk lessons
Uh,
anyway.
so I think it automatically discounts uh the lesson if you just pick more than two, and then you have to enter the code to get the extra 20 from the testimonial.
Okay.
So
So
there's
there's
not like two codes you have to. It's just like it'll automatically do the two or more session one, and then you enter the code for the testimonial.
perfect. I will
Yeah,
pass that on then. Sick.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that. But yeah, what I'll probably do is try and find some other matchups I'm struggling with and get something recorded for them so that we can talk about it. I think
Heck yeah.
uh, Ike may be something that I may look at. I struggle with edgeguard and Ike too, and I know we've looked at some sets in the past, but and I think I've gotten better at it, but there's still like some probably nuances that I'm not familiar with.
Ike's one of those
Um,
weirdos. A lot of Brawl
yeah,
BM characters are kind of weirdos because you haven't. Well, one, their edge guards are a little more unique than the melee top tier ones, but also like we've seen people edge guard Sheik for 20 years. Like it might be
yeah,
tricky, but it's kind of solved.
yeah.
It's like
I
there's a
agree.
Marth killer. There's not an Ike killer.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Ike maybe I'll kind of see I'll see kind of what comes out. Maybe I'll get a zero suit set and we can see that, but that may be actually interesting because uh we'll get to look at my other character.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's a character you're familiar with fighting or not, we could get a lot of information and analysis out of. Okay, well,
Yeah.
there's one variable that's changed here. You know, how does that affect your mentality going into the matchup, and how does that affect what the opponent wants to do? And you know, is that going to be a trend among other characters?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so
Sick.
I think I'll come with a zero suit set next time.
Sick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut the VOD here.